Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Amity University. Amity University is a research and innovation-driven university propelled by the vision of our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. Sir, today we are 12 universities in India with 16 global campuses, 28 schools and preschools. Welcome to this special webinar today. Today is a day where we celebrate love, a Valentine's Day, but we thought that we could have a lecture that could talk about global peace, global friendship and camaraderie, and none other than we have with us our guest speaker for the day, Swami Vivekananda Maharaj. So without any further ado, I'll hand it over to my dear student, Amit Vikram Pandey, who will be taking up the webinar further. Over to you, Amit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Welcome to Swami Vivekananda lecture series. The main aim of today's lecture series and this series that we have initiated is to bring a positive attitude amongst the students, to bring motivation, to motivate them, to inculcate some leadership qualities, and at the last, but not the least, spiritual knowledge should also be imparted amongst the students of our age. It is well said, Swami Vivekananda said that purity, patience, and perseverance can overcome all obstacles. He suggested taking courage and work on patience and steady work. According to Swami Vivekananda ji, this is the only way to get success. Now, moving further, I would like Madhvi Shri ma'am to please inaugurate the session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amit. Maharaj Pranam.
Namaste.
Greetings for the day to everyone. Thank you, Sumita ma'am. I'm just reading out the purpose for which we have started the Vivekananda lecture series in our Amity University, especially in the Amity Law College. As we know, spirituality is a backbone of in India. As the Swami Vivekananda said, spirituality is the only essential thing which Indians originate. Next, spirituality, I feel, is a shock-absorbing capacity for our day-to-day life, the hurdle and the struggle we face in daily life. So it helps us to grow better and much more equipped to face the daily life situation. I'm just introducing about the Maharaj. Those who are the old students, they know about the Maharaj. But I'm just reading out a few portions of Maharaj Swami Vivekananda's biography. Swami Vivekananda is a scholarly monk of Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Mutt. Maharaj born in the Los Angeles, California, to immigrant Bengali parents who migrated from the West Bengal. Maharaj completed his education in the United States. He had earned a Bachelor of Arts major in English literature as well as minor in political science from the University of California, Riverside. Afterward, he studied his Juris Doctorate Law degree from the University of Delaware College of the Law. In 2000, he passed the California Bar exam in 2000 and became officially licensed to work as a practicing attorney. He then worked as the assistant district attorney for the city of the San Francisco. He was a prosecutor in the criminal jury trials. Maharaj has the opportunity to work with Kamala Harris, who is right now the Vice President of the United States. And there, while working, Maharaj come across to see and understand how a negative mindset affects any criminal and the importance of a positive mindset in the life. In 2004, Maharaj joined the Ramakrishna Mission Order as a monk in Belur Mutt. He received his final monastic sannyas vow in 2014. Currently, Maharaj is based in Advaita Ashram, Calcutta. And I'm just inviting Maharaj to speak on the subject. I think, just a second, I think Abhimat is going to speak about session on the Maharaj. Abhimat, will you speak?
Ma'am, we seeing the time shortage. I think it will be better if we hear from Maharaj.
Okay. Maharaj, I invite you to please start your.
Okay. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagatgurum Padapadme Tvayo Shritva Pranamami Muhur Muhur Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Sachit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.
Namaskar. Namaskar, sir.
First, I just want to congratulate all of you. Madhavi, Sumitra Singh, Amit, Abhimat. This is a great thing that you're doing, and it's not easy to do either. In a law school itself, to try to bring spirituality and the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. So that's what I think Swamiji himself would say. That is a Herculean task, and it's not easy to do. So it's that you are all attempting this noble effort. That itself is something quite incredible. I tried that when I was in law school as well. Only problem was there that it was even tougher. It's all white people, you know, with a few token Indians and others. So that's even more difficult.
We thank you, sir, for motivating and joining us, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I really, you know, Swamiji said, Swami Vivekananda said in the complete works, it's always a struggle, a fight of good against evil. Now, there's nobody good and nobody evil. That's on one hand, it's the struggle within our own selves, right? This Mahishashura in the Durga Puja versus this Ma Durga. And on the other hand, in society too, it's a struggle between the what good and bad is there. So to try to take that up, to try to take the good and push it forward is a very noble effort. Now, admittedly, actually, I've been very tied up. I'm going to the United States at the end of this month for the first time in 9 years. And so I've been quite tied up in many different projects. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to give a little bit of an introduction, and it's going to be a little bit more interactive. And this will be a precursor for the next class, where I think I'll just show everybody a copy of this book. It's called Why We Do What We Do by Edward Desai, Understanding Self-Motivation. Now, it is one of the most important psychological books of the 20th century, and it deals with this concept of intrinsic motivation. Okay. Now, this is really an important type of thing to think about. So even before we talk about this book and the theory, it's more important that we let this be kind of like a group chat today, rather than a lecture, that what is our motivation? I'll start off with myself, and then I want other people to also say, like, you know, let me raise a question first. This is similar to what we do in jury trials, right? In jury trials, we have something called voir dire. So we raise a question to the jury and we let them think about it. So same thing, I'm raising a question to all of us here. What is your motivation for going to law school? I just want you to think about that, okay? There's no right or wrong answer. And at the same time, let's take out the judgmentalness. Normally when we ask that question, there's a public answer that we should give. And then there's another type of, the real reason we don't want to give. Sometimes we don't know what our motivation is. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Sometimes we don't know. I have to do something. And the time is, especially in India, the clock ticks very fast. That I don't envy about the Indian student education system. In the West, I'm from America, so we have more of a leeway, you know, I was like a late bloomer. I think my brother was too. But I think that many people, and I've seen that with my cousins here as well, and my friends here, that from a young age, you're on the clock. They say on the clock, right? You have to start with tuition at the age of 3. It's very competitive now. And you have to, it's like you're on this rat race, especially here. Can anybody tell me, what are those examinations you have here in high school? What are those really important examinations?
Sir,
Board
sir, examination point of view, as in for Supreme Court or just
No,
for the school?
I'm just talking about like the 10th standard, 11th standard. Everyone tells me that there's like this
boards.
boards.
Sir, it's state boards and CBSE board, central board.
Central board. Okay, so
You know, Maharaj, there is a state boards also. It's every state has. Like in West Bengal, we have a West Bengal Board of Secondary Education, Higher Secondary Education. It depends on how a state run their education system. And there is a CBSE and ICSE board. And now in India, foreign the degrees are they have a collaboration with the British Embassy. They have a collaboration with the American independent education system. So now in Pune, in Delhi, good families send their students there also. I mean, their children there also. So
okay.
now they are multiple.
Okay, whatever. I just know it's like I don't think it changes the nature of it. It's a very competitive, and it's like you're unfortunately what I see is that your future is dictated at a really early stage in life. And if you do well, you go to the next track. And if you don't do well, it's like you're stamped for life, which is really unfortunate. In fact, it's this type of system which Edward Desai talked about. There's two types of motivations he talks about. One is extrinsic motivation. The other is intrinsic motivation. Let me give you an example of what I mean. This is what he talked about. They had an experiment. Some social scientist wanted to do an experiment. Now, how to measure motivation? How will they measure motivation? They measure it by engagement of the mind. How engaged our mind is in a certain subject. Okay. So what they did is they had two groups of students. One group of students, they paid them to work on a computer, to work on some puzzles. One group of students, they paid money to. We'll give you this amount of rupees or dollars. Sorry, I have to keep converting back and forth. Okay, and then the other group of students, you're not paid anything. You're just doing it to solve the puzzles. Volunteer. Okay, so both group of students worked on this puzzle for about 50 minutes. Now, during the break, what happened? They wanted to see, during the break, one set of students who were paid the money, once that 50 minutes came to an end, they put down the puzzles and they went outside and did something else. The second group of students that were not paid anything, even during the break, many of them were continuing to experiment with the puzzle. What are different combinations? What are different insights? What are different ways to solve this puzzle? The conclusion that these psychologists drew from this was this concept of intrinsic motivation. And what they said is this extrinsic reward, what you call this carrot stick. You all know that metaphor, carrot stick, that like they say like a mule likes a carrot in front of it. And so it'll keep moving as long as it sees that enticement in front of it. Okay, some type of enticement. We call this extrinsic motivation. So that's normally how we're motivated, right? How our parents motivate us, how our school motivates us, how our coaches motivate us, right? Through our whole life. But there's a plot to this twist. What is that? They found in these experiments this extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic reward kills intrinsic motivation. Everyone just think about that. Extrinsic rewards kills intrinsic motivation.
Maharaj, I will request you to, explain students also extrinsic reward and intrinsic, motivation.
Sure.
And people who have no orientation toward all these words, they will be a little helpful.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's. Excuse me, I have a slight cough.
Really sorry, Maharaj, your health is not good, and we are.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, it's not anything bad. It's just a lingering cough. It's just a dry cough. In fact, my brother heard me coughing from America. He told me, you stay in India, don't come to America right now. So anyways, what we mean by extrinsic reward, I want you all to think about your own education. Like when you're growing up, if your parents wanted to motivate you to do something good, say that, okay, if you get a good grade on your paper, on your homework, then we'll give you a nice roshogola, a nice mishti, okay? Some extrinsic motivation we give you for getting a good result, okay? Does everyone understand that? That's called extrinsic reward. Using extrinsic reward to motivate somebody. The other way is this intrinsic motivation that we talked about that in the growth mindset, and that is that we don't praise the end result. We don't praise the end. What do we praise? Not only the effort, because the effort might be there, but you may not do well. The effort plus this Bangla, we could say Babaharika Buddhi, this practical intelligence, this resourcefulness, efficiency. Does everybody understand that? It's not the end result. So what that does, that type of encouragement, that what Swami Vivekananda talked about, this character development, right? In the Gita, we talk about this. I think many of you have heard the sloka, Karmane vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, right? What does that mean? You have a right only to what?
That your own karma that you are doing.
Yes,
The thing
to the work, yes, and not to the results. So in Bangla, we say Amar mukte ke boli. We say this with the mouth, but we don't really mean it lots of times, unfortunately, because that's not how society is set up. And so it's very difficult, actually, this pressure that we feel. You know, when we really feel this, the fatigue of this extrinsic reward, when we go to sleep at night, lots of times we can't get to sleep. The heart will be pounding, the mind will be racing. The nervous system will just, it's like on coffee. It's like it's taking a shot of coffee, even though it's nighttime. So this type of thing disturbs our system. So somehow, what we have to try to do, we have to try to incorporate in this system which encourages extrinsic rewards. We have to incorporate intrinsic motivation. And we'll talk about that. In fact, this is an important part of this book. So now I want to get back to, I want to ask this question and I want some participation, okay? Because also my voice is not very good today, so you guys also have to help me out a little bit. So what is your motivation? What is your motivation for law school? I can just be honest with you. When I first went to law school, I also didn't, you know, I'm coming from Indian parents too. So, you know, we're not allowed to be like the American people, you know, you have to choose something and go forward, even though you don't know what you're choosing and why you're choosing it. So, so yes, when I when I was in undergraduate school, I first chose a major of bio. To become a doctor because my father was a professor of microbiology. So I wanted to make them happy. Okay, that's a natural thing to do. And then I remember that as I sat in that chemistry class, that bio class, it was just so many people were just sitting there, and it was no one's focused on knowledge. I like biology, I like chemistry, but when it's taught in such a way that the only goal is to be the topper in the class, that for me kills that intrinsic motivation. So I want, can any of you, I want some of you to speak out. What is your motivation? What is your motivation for going to law school? I want, and
Abhimat has raised the hand, sir. Abhimat.
Yeah, some people raise their hands that I can't see.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think Georgie can also say. Alimat, you may say. After that, Georgie will say.
Can you please show your face so I can see? Then it's a little bit better.
My camera is on, I think.
What was that?
Abhimat's camera is on, Maharaj.
Oh, his
Jaideep,
camera.
you please
Oh, let me
put
try
on
to see
your
if I can see
camera.
the view. Let me go to the gallery then.
I can see, Maharaj. I don't know.
Also,
Okay.
Swamiji, you can ask the questions from the students. They can type it in the chat box.
No, I'd rather have interaction. If I can see their faces, I'd rather see the. Gosh, how do I see everyone's face? Do I go to gallery? I went to gallery, but I'm only seeing like
Okay,
6.
so Mobin sir, is it possible that you turn on the cameras of everyone, Mobin sir?
Or
at
at
least,
least
Ma'am,
at least the
for
person,
the
at least the person who's asking the question.
Yes, Mobin sir.
ma'am, we can turn on the only panelist camera.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
can you turn on the mic of all the attendees?
Yes, ma'am, we can
Oh,
give
no,
right to
that's
the.
okay. Let's just go to the person who asked the question first. Let him speak. Then let him or her speak. That's okay.
Okay. So
What is your name?
my name is Abhimat. Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste.
And answering your question, I think I'm at a stage of my life like even I don't understand what I'm doing exactly. But one, I mean, why am I doing it? But one of it is money, stability in life. I think which comes from money.
Okay. Are you first year or second year or what? Did you just?
Fourth semester. I'm at the law school Noida. Second
Okay,
year.
Okay. Well, that's, have you ever heard of somebody named Abraham Maslow? He has this. You could look at look at him up on the internet. He has this hierarchy of needs. So that's one of the things. After basic food, shelter, these things, the next stage up is money. So money is a valid concern, but that's not the ultimate goal. Even Abraham Maslow says there's after this money, and then after that there's this self-validation, respect from your peers. After that, the highest goal is this, what you call self-actualization, which is actually a spiritual goal. Self-actualization, becoming the best that you could be. Okay, irrespective of money. They say that even money, any type of happiness that you can experience through these 5 senses, anything, you can think about this yourself. It has a limit. This is also mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad as well. Any type of happiness, it has a limit. Once you reach that limit, whether you have $1 million or $1 billion, it won't increase your sense of happiness. Okay, that's important. Same thing with validation from others. Once you achieve a certain status, it's a very important thing to have. But once you achieve that, it won't increase your happiness after a certain stage. Okay, so we say beyond that, there's a stage of self-actualization. What they say, being all you can be. What Swami Vivekananda says, manifesting your potential. Okay, let's go to let's hear from other people. Please, somebody else from the students I'd like to hear from first.
Jaideep, are you here? I will request ID, please, if possible, Jaideep's mic, can you unmute? He's one of the participants and he can connect
Jyodeep,
us with
yes, you
students.
can you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, good morning, Maharaj.
Good morning. Good morning, Jaideep.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Maharaj.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you have asked the question, what is motivation? The simple answer is motivation is to keep our mind strong so that we can, our mind, we can tackle each and every situation very firmly and determinedly. And the problem in India is the percentage. In the Indian education system has the percentage which we as the dog race or the rat race. The person who has got less percentage has not value in India, and the student who has got higher percentage have got value in India. But future tells us that then different. The person who has got skills and has got that percentage, they become the CEO of the company, and the person who has got 90% above and become the topper of the class, they have not value. They become the employee of the company, and their work is to just count their salary, PF, how many PF, personal fund, and retirement benefits. But but the person who has got less
Rajeev,
percentage.
keep your question short. We
Yes.
don't share your perception. We
Yes,
are
sir.
asking question. If you have any question.
No, not question. Actually, no, Joydeep, what you didn't tell me what your motivation is. You're just describing a general problem
Then
of
no
the
problem, sir.
country.
That
But
is
what
the
I,
problem.
no. What is your motivation though, or what do you want?
So my motivation is to become my strong. My mind is just strong, sir, and my mind is strong in each and every situation. That is my motivation. That's all, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay.
Any student who want to ask the question, please raise your hand. There is option available to raise your hand.
Okay. So I just on that. So a strength of mind is a good thing, but again, if we look beyond that, no, that's a good thing. Strength of mind is a good thing, but there's also that's okay. But again, we want to keep analyzing. This is not just like a one-time thing, right? I'm just raising this question. Think deeper than that. Just not like a one-line answer. You have to think about it. Let insights come. What is really my motivation? Okay. Yes, strength of mind is a good thing for handling things, but what is my ultimate goal in life? It's not so easy. In fact, maybe even your parents don't know. Okay, no offense, but it's not such but because nobody even asked this question. But this is a really important question to ask. What is my goal in life? What is my goal in life? Being honest about it, not what you should say, not what society wants you to say, but what we talked about in the growth mindset, being first accurate self-assessment, right? This is what my motivation really is. It might be to become famous, it might be to make money, and whatever it may be. It might just be to live a comfortable life. But this type of thing is really, you have to go a little bit, we all have to go a little bit deeper. It's not so easy. There's no answer to this. It's not so easy. I'm just raising the question. I struggled with this, a long time. I'll give my own example. Even I entered law because I felt I had some disposition towards speaking and writing. And then I wanted to be a trial lawyer, but I found after some time that once I became good at doing trials and also doing depositions, then I found that what else is there? What's next? That was what was motivating me. And once I reached the end of that, then I became a monk. So we have to keep looking and just trying to find out, like, what is my goal in life? It's not so easy, but it's whether you're a monk or whatever you are, whether we're like just an aspirant in life, we should keep asking this question. This is what I wanted to emphasize. This is linked to intrinsic motivation, because once we get clarity on that, the more, it's not like we can get 100% clarity, because we're always manifesting, we're always evolving. Swami Vivekananda said that each person has the ability to manifest divinity, the ability to manifest perfection. So there's no end to it. That's why this question has to keep going on. Okay. Okay, does anyone else want to share? And again, there's no go ahead.
Among student, anyone want to ask any questions? They may okay, Abhimatya.
Swamiji, I wanted an answer to a question which troubles me deeply most of the time. I don't know if the definition of it is being broken from inside or something, but sometimes I just feel that life is just hopeless. I mean, like, what is the end to it? If I'm studying, what's the end to it? If I'm earning money, what's the end to it? So, what would you like to advise me if I am feeling like this? Like, there's no end to it and there's no point in it.
Right.
And it means it's in general, in anything.
Right. I wrote this article in this line, and I think this is an attitude that's increasingly popping up nowadays. And it does also have to do with the internet too. It is it is making things even more, in Bangla we say halka, more light. Life is losing its gravity in many ways, okay? And they say that the internet, I'll go back to your question, but this internet excessive use is compromising our ability, this thinking, feeling, and willing capacity. It's compromising all three faculties of the mind. You know, the proof they use for that is that when you're on the net, what strength of mind do you have? What is your concentration, your capacity of thinking? When you're on the internet, what is your capacity of willing? When you're on the internet, what is your capacity of feeling? It's usually quite low, right? Now, according to this, what they call the laws of neuroplasticity, maybe some of you have heard about that. It's this law that the brain is not a fixed entity. It actually is something that's malleable. How is it malleable? Whatever your predominant mode of thinking, feeling, and willing is, that becomes your normal mode. So what happens with most of us, if we're on the internet, on our mobile phones, if we're on our computers 16 hours a day? So we call this the virtual spillover effect. What is going to happen then? Then is that how we're acting on the net, that's going to spill over into our everyday life, okay? This is one thing, just so you're aware of this. I talked about this in one article. Now, second thing, this idea of apathy towards life. So that's, all of us come across that. So that's a very important thing to see. So if you're at that stage, then the next question is the question that, like you're doing, keep questioning then. So what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose in life? And if you read some people like, say, even Swami Vivekananda, he faced this. When he was Narendranath Datta, he used to say that if I were God, seeing the suffering in the world, he used to say that if I were God, I could make a better world. Okay, so this is, in fact, he almost became an atheist for that reason. So what I would just say to you is that this, you should go in. This is just the point of this is the beginning of spiritual life, what you call the life of the spirit. We're not talking about dogmas, creeds. Read this book, read that book. No, this is actually spirituality. What you've just said. I find the meaninglessness in life. So what is the way out? This is the same question that came to Buddha. Buddha, you know, Lord Siddhartha, he had a beautiful wife, beautiful children. He was the crown prince. So he's like, you know, he was the apple of everybody's eye in that world. And even in that state, he became bored. Then one day he went outside his gates, and one day he saw old age. The next day he saw illness. The third day he saw death. And these were the questions he asked. Will that someday happen to my father? Will it happen to my dear wife and children? Will it happen to me? So these types of questions we have to, what you call the answer to your question is to apply this, what you call this vicharda, this spiritual discrimination, looking at the world, looking at the nature of the world as it actually is, not as we want to project it to be. Swami Vivekananda said that. You've heard of the concept of Maya? What is Maya? What is your definition of Maya?
So Maya, as per the Vedic scriptures, is the greed, the lust that binds you to the world.
Is
the
what?
Sense of the greed and the lust that binds you to the world.
Okay.
Maya.
Okay. So that's true in one sense. And we say that that's this Maya means illusion. Something that looks like it, but it actually is not is. And so we say, according to Vedanta, Maya has two powers. This power of projection, in Sanskrit, Vikshepa Shakti, as well as this power of Avarana Shakti, the power of covering, the power of delusion. Okay? These are the two efforts of Maya. And no, it's not women, it's not men, it's the nature of this universe. Okay? So Swami Vivekananda said, what is Maya? He gave a beautiful definition. Statement of facts. See things as they actually are. Nothing but a statement of facts. Don't cover things. See things as they actually are. So he said, don't take a rotten body and cover it with flowers and say the world is so beautiful. Right? See things as it actually is, without judgment, without suspend that level of judgment. This is good, this is bad, you know? Too many people in life, especially once they become religious, they want to judge. We want to judge. This is good, this is bad. If this person believes in my religion, they're good. And if this person does not believe in my religion, no. That's just suspend that whole judgment. Seeing life as it truly is, you know? Lord Buddha, Siddhartha did this. So what did he see? He saw this life as nothing but suffering. Suffering, sarvamidam dukkham. Sri Ramakrishna did this. So he saw suffering on the one hand, and yet on the other, he saw this joy. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. This joy was permeating everywhere. Okay, so my answer would be keep going deeper within. Keep going deeper. You could study the works of Swamiji, the scriptures, like that.
Okay.
Maharaj, may I have your permission to speak something on the Maya?
Sure.
I just want to share my understanding
Sure.
as a student. Okay. What I understand the Maya is the Shakti of Brahman, through which Brahman acts. This is one understanding, and how we look at the whole world. Recently, I started liking Swami Medananji Maharaj perception of Vijnana Vedanta. What he says, like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, this world is also the reflection of the God, or is God only. We have to accept it. I mean, the advantage of the spirituality which I, experience within myself, my acceptability has increased. Still, I go up and down. Still, I say I go up and down. My mood swing, everything is there. But this spirituality helps me to be a little accept the people as they are, and it's very challenging. Very challenging. And I request the IT person, there is a one faculty member of us, Dr. Abhilasha. Abhilasha ma'am also want to speak. If you can unmute IT section, sir. Can you hear me?
Madhavi ma'am, I think I can speak now. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you. Namaste, Swamiji. Swamiji, you are not audible to me.
Sorry, I was sometimes coughing, so I was like putting mute at that time. Go ahead, please tell.
All right. So Swamiji, I actually have read Bhagavad Gita. So as per Bhagavad Gita, Goswami Tulsidas ji, I think, has said, Jo jahan sab lage man jai, so sab maya janahu bhai. Means wherever you see or whatever you see is all illusion.
I'm sorry. Whatever you see is what is all what?
Whatever you see around is all illusion.
Okay.
Whatever you see around is all Maya. So I just wanted, to know from you and guide all of us, all of our students as well, that how to, manage this, because we are living in a world wherein we cannot avoid Maya. Right, we are living in a world where we cannot avoid Maya. Wherever we go, whatever we see, the relationships, if we talk about, if we talk about the students' perspective, they have a life wherein they are pressurized every day to achieve their goals in order to have a materialistic life. Right, so how to let go of that feeling and understand this intrinsic feeling that this is not how to let go of the Maya, Guruji. How to let go of the Maya, because everywhere that we see or whatever we see is actually Maya. So how to let go of this feeling and focus on our goals?
Okay, excellent questions. Excellent questions. So I just how to let go of Maya. So I wanted to say to that regarding students. See, it's really important that we put, part of being faculty is it's really important not to judge. This is really an important thing, not to judge anybody. Everyone has is on their own growth course. That's one thing. And secondly is that, you see, Sri Ramakrishna used to give the example of like the fruit on the tree. You can't make something more ripe all of a sudden. At the right time, it has to fall off by itself, right? You can't, you just can't pick it and take it before. What happens if you pick the fruit from the tree before it's completely ripe? What happens then, Dr. Abhilash? So anyways, go ahead.
Ji, Swamiji. Ji.
What
I am listening to you, Swamiji. I am.
No, I was just asking a question. So what happens if you pick the fruit before it becomes fully ripe? It never becomes ripe, right?
Right, and it doesn't taste. I mean, if you compare,
and it doesn't taste, right?
Yeah, it doesn't taste the way it should taste.
Same thing with this. I think it was the grass. What is it? Is it the grasshopper that becomes one thing becomes a caterpillar, then it becomes, I think, a butterfly. So I think the caterpillar, when it first comes out, it's stuck in the womb. And what they did, one person, what they did, seeing the caterpillar stuck in that, that cocoon, it pulled it out. What happened? Because that person pulled it out, it never went through that struggle of trying to come out of that cocoon. As a result, it could never reach its full potential of becoming a butterfly and actually flying. Okay, so the thing is that everybody's on their own growth course. Now, unfortunately, you can't apply that in law school because there is a certain time. So what I feel that what we have to do, and what we're going to talk about through this book, this concept of how can we increase the intrinsic motivation within our students and within ourselves? This is the main question we have to think about. You understand what I'm saying? That you can't actually motivate somebody to, say, eat a meal unless they actually want to eat the meal, right?
Swamiji, Swamiji,
yeah.
I am talking things from the student's perspective because we meet a lot of students on an everyday basis. The students talk about the peer pressure. Even if they know that there is a phase of growth, they have to start, from the scratch in order to reach their goal. But how to avoid that peer pressure? You see the competitive environment today. So how to avoid that peer pressure?
Yes, I think one important thing is a good support system. There has to be peer pressure. Means that's one, because we want and it's natural, we want the validation of our peers. So I think to counter that, there needs to be a good support system from the faculty and from some students who have like a higher aspiration. You understand what I'm saying? Somewhere you need some validation. That's part of what Abraham Maslow talked about as well. You cannot do without this validation. You can't just set that aside. So somehow there has to be some support from the faculty as well. Some support from other students as well, from the friend circle. That peer pressure to, by the way, what is the peer pressure towards? Can you, what is that? What is the pressure about? I didn't catch that.
The peer pressure, amongst each other, because they, when they interact with each other, they know one of them is doing, well, maybe one of them has joined. Let's say, if I talk about from the law students' perspective, the pressure is that few of them have been able to join internships. Few of them have not been able to grab a good internship. So as a result, they tend to have pressure that, oh, I am not doing as much internship as my colleague. So maybe I will not land up at the place where I have desired.
Right. That's that is a very tough pressure.
I also want to add one thing. I've seen among the students, it's a comparative mindset. They don't look into what the qualities they are possessing. Rather than they will see what others are having, what the trend, so-called trend is going on, what the other groups are. And in most of the cases is the, social media, the trend setting, the news, so many things, and the parents, relative expectations, society's expectations, they are dormant and strongly play a role in their life. And they don't have a time to look into themselves, see what they are having, what they can be, what they can become. And my whole effort to organize this whole seminar and this, dialogue, that is students sit and look into themselves, what they have. As Swami Vivekananda says, each students or each human being are potentially divine, as Bhagavad Gita says, ki yours swa dharma. Most of the cases we understand dharma is religion, the Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, like this. Not what is your calling, what is your mental tendency. I will request you, Maharaj, if we can next time address this issue, what is your mental tendency? What is your tendency, your character? You are made for what? We don't sit and ask this question to ourselves. And thank you, Maharaj.
So what I want to, I think, again, I think it's kind of unfair to, let's not beat up on the students either, okay? So this is a thing, I'd like to hear from more students as well. Again, again, we have to put ourselves in their position. I was like that. When I was in high school, we're all searching for ourselves. So it's like, once you become a faculty member, part of being a faculty member, you have to be where you are, but that maturity, you also have to think from where they are too, right? This is a really important thing to do. How can we provide them like that type of, this is really important that people don't feel judged. This is the most important thing that we can give them, being them space to be themselves. Okay, you have this comparative mindset. That's also okay too. First accept it, it's okay to have that. That's natural. If any of us were a student right now, if I was a student, I can say, I would have that comparative mindset too. It's a process of maturity to grow out of it. Okay, so the next question is, having a comparative mindset, what can we do to kind of move that forward more towards a growth mindset? The first issue is, does somebody want that? This is a really important point. Do we want to get out of our present condition? Only if somebody I can raise this question, is that something that can be artificially simulated? I don't know. I think also part of it has to come from within as well. I can raise this question to all of you and see what you have to say, but I think all we can do is like give some inspiration from our lives, but part of that has to come from within as well. And I think the thing that we can do is try to provide an atmosphere where students can come. They're having problems. You see, most of the students, our problems would be more emotional problems, psychological problems, not knowledge-based problems. These psychological problems, these emotional problems, these peer pressure problems, these are the obstacles in actually learning. These are actually the obstacles in moving ahead. So part of it is also this mindset that, in Bangla we say this udarata, this broad-mindedness, right? That there's just not one way to do things. Okay, let that person have that internship. Let me first find out what I am, and let me find my niche. Everybody has a niche. Everyone also has to find out their niche rather than trying to be like somebody else. There's so many different avenues, and even in law. See, from law, you can go to media, journalism, so many things one person can do, right? So that's what I was talking about in the beginning, this resourceful mindset. First, finding out where I stand right now. And then also, okay, that person's going ahead in that. First, let me develop my core skills. Let me develop my skill of writing. Let me develop my skills of thinking like a lawyer. Let me develop my skill of speaking. Let me develop my skill of analyzing things. That's more, if we can encourage our students to do that they should be more focused on that rather than what other students are thinking. If you can show them that will bring greater long-term results, I think that will be beneficial.
Maharaji, I totally take side of ma'am, that what ma'am is saying, that they are very competitive. They are competitive, and what hurts more is then when they come into your leg pulling. If someone is excelling and the student is in, they'll start pulling the leg, that how is he going to climb up. So this is what, can it be inculcated? Can it be in some or the other way taught to them, that no, everyone is different? Because I know that I'm different, but what about others? They think that God made everybody the same. So there is that karma, past karmas and the present karmas, and your inner self, that what you have with yourself and what you have got. Everyone has got a different battery, that I would say, a different software setup. that the software is working differently. So can it be told? Can it be inculcated in them in some or the other way that they don't compete, they don't pull your leg down, or they don't compete in every manner in which they cannot? Because what it actually results into, they harm themselves. If someone is wrestling, they'll do a lot of gymming and all, they'll harm their own body, and they'll not be able to reach that point. Because what where the person has reached now, it is not just because of a second, it is past, it is years of uh, heat that he has generated in his body, the years of strength that he has accumulated over the past years. So if you could please tell us that how to overcome this stress and all.
Okay, so what I would say, are we talking about the person who's moving ahead, or the students who are like pulling the leg? Who are we speaking about? I'm not sure about who are we speaking about here, Amit?
Sir, we are speaking about the children who are pulling the leg, who are trying to bring you down, who are not able.
Okay, who are trying to, okay, those students are trying to, okay, that's where we go back to what Joy, now I appreciate what Joy Deep said. Joy Deep said that my goal is strength of mind. Strength of mind is an excellent, this is what Swami Vivekananda also talked about. Strength of mind means what? I see something, I see some quality in myself. I first have to feel good about myself in order not to pull down the legs of somebody else. If I identify what Carol Dweck, she talked about this accurate self-awareness. I know what my strengths are, and I know what my weaknesses are. If I know what my strengths are, and I give more emphasis to that, this is what Swami Vivekananda talked about, personality development, right? In fact, what you're talking about in the Yoga Sutras, this is one of the main obstacles to realization. They call it hingsa. And everyone says hingsa means killing. Swami Vivekananda gave a different definition. He gave two definitions of what ahimsa means. One was absence of jealousy, okay? Especially amongst the Indian people, and especially amongst Bengalis. He said, like, if you keep everyone wants to pull each other down. That's one definition of ahimsa. The next definition of ahimsa is that you can forgive your enemy when you have such strength of mind that you could bring legions of forces to their knees. So it's based on strength, okay? These two qualities, one is based on knowing one's own self, and the other is strength of mind, strength, feeling good about oneself.
So Maharaji, we should not think about them, and we should keep excelling. We should keep going on, or what should we do? We should leave the company. We should leave their category of how to overcome this, because
okay. So are you talking about the person whose leg is being pulled, or the person who's pulling the leg?
A person whose leg is being pulled. What should he do?
Okay, so the person whose leg is that. Okay, so we have to get clear on the terms, right? So the person whose leg is getting pulled, what we have to develop is that see, even Swami Vivekananda faced this incident himself. He used to get criticized, and Sri Ramakrishna told him that you could think it's like like when an elephant goes to the courtyard, especially the dogs, the dogs will start barking, especially in India. The dogs will start barking around the elephant, right? So you should give no heed, keep moving forward. Then Swamiji then Sri Ramakrishna tested Swamiji. So what will you do when people criticize you? Narendranath replied, I will think that dogs are barking at me. Then Sri Ramakrishna, no, don't go so far. Atudur Jabina Baba. Because Sarvabhutam Atmanam, this Narayan is everywhere. God is everywhere. Okay? So, but at the same time, on one level, yes, Lokna Pok, I don't care what, I shall move, I shall keep moving ahead. And at the same time, not forgetting that our Vedantic philosophy, God is everywhere. Both those things are there. So one is strength of mind, another is this grit. It's talked about, there's this author, Angela Duckworth. she wrote a book called Grit. And she says that more important than intelligence is this, what you call self-resilience. That when somebody makes a mistake, when somebody does something wrong, they don't lose their self-confidence. They keep moving forward. So both those things are there. One is self-resilience and the other is strength of mind. and knowing one's own good qualities and feeling good about them.
Okay, Maharaj, thank you. This is 3:34. I will request Sumitra ma'am to please say thanks, vote of thanks. Ma'am, are you here? Ma'am. I think we have.
Might be some network issues ma'am is facing.
Namaste,
I
Swamiji.
would request-
This is again me, Dr. Abhilasha.
Yes.
Swamiji, I'm so sorry. I wanted to rectify myself. That time,
Yes.
the lines that I spoke, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, the lines that I spoke was actually taken from Ramcharitmanas, Sri Ramcharitmanas, wherein Goswami Tulsidas ji has said about Maya, Jo jahan sab lage man jai, so sab Maya janahu bhai, which means whatever you see around or wherever you see around, wherever you go, it's all Maya, it's all illusion. So he basically has referred to God here. He has said that you cannot find God, through your eyes. So whatever you see around, whatever, wherever you go, there is all illusion and you cannot find God with your senses.
Ma'am,
So this is what
now we are running out of time. I request.
Okay, just one moment. Let me just give a quick counter to that. So yes, that's one definition of Maya, and Shankaracharya also talked about that. But there's the other, if you see these talks also by Swami Medhananda, and what Sri Ramakrishna says, that he saw this this Sarvabhuta Atmanam, and it's also mentioned in the Upanishads too, this Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatam jagata. So covering this whole world with God, that even this name and form, this ontological reality of this world is nothing but God itself, consciousness itself. So I'm just saying that there's two ways of looking at this ultimate nature of this world itself. So I just wanted to just give it another point of view on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Smrita ma'am, I request you to please give a vote of thanks. And thank you, Swamiji, for giving us so much time. And it has been really very difficult to sum up such a, thought-provoking and intrinsic discussion in such a short span of time. I think students must have, benefited out of it. Ma'am, Smrita ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Swami Chidekananji Maharaj. I express a deep sense of gratitude from our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, and our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, and our Director, Professor Dr. Aditya Tomar sir. Very well moderated by ma'am. And Swamiji, all your words touch our hearts. And I remember Guru Gita, wherein Lord Shiva tells Parvati that whatever negative attributes of the students or the mentees are, they are taken away by the Guru. And for us, Swami Chidekananji Maharaj, for us, you are our Guru. And we are so thankful to you that you agreed to give the lecture. And Swami Chidekananji Maharaj, everybody, this is Swamiji's third lecture at Amity Law School, Noida. We all are actually drowned in the nectar of knowledge listening to him. He is also a lawyer. So all our law students, for you, this is an excellent opportunity. And for any more questions, students, that you have, you write it, and perhaps we will ask the answers of all these questions to Swamiji personally, and maybe you all can get the answers. We will invite Swami Chidekananji Maharaj again next month if whenever Swamiji gives his blessings to us, agrees for a lecture. And many thanks Abhimat and Amit Vikram for coordinating for the event, and many thanks faculty members and other students who joined us online and making this webinar a great grand success. Swami Chidekananji Maharaj, we seek your blessings once again. Thank you.
I just also want to thank all of you for having me, and thank to the organizers. You guys are doing an excellent job, and keep it up. You guys are doing a really excellent job.
I would like to say two names, Maharaj, Kushi Jain and Himani. She has made the poster along with the Abhimat. There's 3 different posters. I would try to engage the students on different platforms. And it's not only them, there is a behind the scene, many students are working and encouraging each other to come. It's not possible to say everyone's name, and another name is Ananya Devedi. And I'm really thankful to Maharaj. May we conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just,
Also,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, Revered Swamiji, this was live on YouTube private. So with your permission, can we circulate this YouTube video to our students who could not join the lecture?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. As long as they don't mind my cough, sorry about that. This lingering cough, couldn't do much better. Okay. Let me just, I'll just say a closing prayer real quickly. Then, oh, Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat, Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody who joined us online for this webinar on Swami Vivekananda lecture series. We will meet you again with yet another series in the Vivekananda lecture series, and we hope to meet Revered Swamiji, Swami Chidekananji Maharaj on this platform committee. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Govind sir, we can close the webinar.
Happy and safe journey, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Meet you again. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Everybody can leave the session now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Govind sir, let's close the session.